It is a sad thing that even today in the modern society, there are many children who are not given most basic of necessities, and there is a large number of children who are abused sexually, physically, and mentally on a daily basis. It is a very sad thing that children are used in labor, and they or even their parents are or well wishers cannot be blamed too much because they don't even have a choice, and one person can only do so much. The one to take responsibility in these scenarios is the society, especially the adults. They can only take the responsibility. It is a very sad reality that in situations where armed conflict breaks out, it is most vulnerable members of the society, namely children, who are affected by the consequences of war. The six most common violations are recruitment and use of children in war, killing, and sexual violence, abduction, and attacks on schools and hospitals, and denial of humanitarian access. On 19th August 1982, it was decided to commemorate 4th June of each year as the International Day of Innocent Children Victims of Aggression. The purpose of this day is to acknowledge the pain suffered by children throughout the world who are the victims of physical, mental, and emotional abuse. This day affirms the UN's commitment to protect the rights of children, and its work is guided by the Convention on the Rights of Child, the most rapidly and widely ratified international human rights treaty in the history of mankind. According to the culture of our modern society, it is quite hurting to see children being abused, of course, and used in wars and all these things. Uh, these are some statements, these are some facts. There were grave violations against children in Syria, which was highest in record in 2016, where at least 652 children were killed and 255 children were killed in or near school, and more than 850 children were recruited to fight in the conflict. And there were at least 338 attacks against the hospitals and medical personnel. And there are also some statistics, like amongst all the child abuse cases which have been reported, about 65%. It is sickening to see these statistics. It is about 65% of all these cases are of sexual abuse, 21% is of physical abuse, 8% is of neglect, 7% they are witness to violence. It is very saddening to see these things. 3% are addicted to drugs, and 7% are in other things. So, and also there is one more thing, like most of the child victims are abused by parents. It is seen this thing. It is a pretty sad thing. In substantiated child abuse cases, 78% of children were victimized by the parents. It is necessary for parents to discipline their child, but yeah, there is a line that should not be crossed, like venting your anger on them, physically beating them, etc. Because there is one thing that is that mentally punishing when required only, of course, is a better way to ensure that necessary habits and discipline in the long run. Well, listening to these things, we all get to know how grim is the situation right now, especially when we do not have to see either or experience these things in our daily life. I personally believe that all children should at least have basic necessities, and it is an adult's responsibility to ensure that children do not have to worry too much about these unnecessary things and can actually focus on their skill development so that they can ensure a better future. Thank you very much.